I think we're ready to start.
Not quite. We got a few more people coming.
You do?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You're hiding the house number, Joe. Oh, absolutely.
That's true.
I know all about the fire department. But I do know. I know, but they do say that. I'm Phoenix on the business. In our high school, yeah, I don't see.
I brought my puppy. He's supposed to
No, you're fine. Your belly first.
If I could have your attention, please. We're going to do this like we're
Hey, let's listen up.
We're going to do this as though we were at some scout camp or something. We're going to have the announcements before we do anything else. That's a terrible fate, right? So, Jim, would you give us our terrible fate?
Sure. Announcement-wise, Doug has asked, he says there's a box inside for your name tags, and we want your name tags back before you leave.
And that'll be at the ice cream social tonight
At the
too.
ice cream social tonight, so don't give them away while you're at the reunion. But when you're ready to leave, we want your name tags. So make sure that you give us back your name tags. The other thing is, that some of you were asking about the plank campaign. So there are forms inside for you to buy a plank, or 2, or 10, or 20.
No more than 20.
And in addition, for those who want to make a donation to the family, there is a donation jar inside. So feel free to take advantage of all of that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Bill Imes, the historian of the Wing family of America, and I was asked to MC this production. We were supposed to begin at noon. I think we're still on somebody's standard time. And you notice, if you read it carefully, we are to meet here for 12 and a half hours. We're meeting at 12 p.m. and adjourning at 12:30 a.m. So, I have asked all of our participants to be very brief. We'll see how they can do. Our first speaker is going to speak to the fact that having a memorial hall was an old dream. Past President Jeff Miller.
Pretty much what he just said. He took my speech.
Oh, no.
When our corporation was founded in 1902, it was for the socialization of the descendants of Deborah, authorizing the corporation to buy property of historical significance, and for a memorial hall. It's now 2017. It took that long to get one. We have, through the years, contemplated getting one, and the question was always, where would it go, and how will we pay for it? Because even though we have 7 wonderful acres, we're restricted of what we can build there because of nonprofit and because it's historic. So circumstances came along, all the stars aligned, and here we are today.
Thank you very much. And here we are today with the golden opportunity which arose and to which we responded, and to speak to that story is our President, Jim Whitman.
we've already mentioned that in 2014 at the reunion, Christina Ships approached me and said, I have something I want you to consider. And so the long and the short of that was that Christina told us that we should be the owners of the Simon Wing collection. We agreed. And that she would be helpful in trying to initiate a project to accomplish that. The board decided to proceed with development of a memorial hall as an annex to the Fort House. And we were in that planning process when Jim Grisella called me and said, the house across the road is up for sale, and it's up for sale at a price less than appraised value. And my first response was, that's all very well and good, and it's way out of our range. Then I got a call from Ruth Powell, and dear Ruth said, Jim, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The family needs this house. So we began to look at what we could do to put together by using some of our designated funds temporarily with the idea of repaying them, and seeing what we could borrow and what we could receive in donations with the capital campaign coming. And it all came together so that here we are today. Our family has been so gracious and so generous in helping us with both the debt financing and the donations, and it's just marvelous that we were able to bring this about and fulfill the dream of our ancestors.
Thank you, thank you. We're in the midst of fulfilling that dream, and key to its fulfillment is our curatorial staff. We have the curator, the assistant curator, the assistant. Are you the assistant?
I think so.
Jim and
The
Ruth.
official nag.
I'm going to call on the curator, Randall Montcalf, to speak of how the dream spins forth into the future.
You have to hold the prop,
Oh, I can hold the prop.
and you hold the prop, and you. Hold those up, okay. So I'm gonna try to be really brief. I'm not gonna speak in sentences because then it'll take longer, so I have a list. Number one, our dreams for the future. A physically challenged tourists are unable to get through the Wing Fort House, and then over here they gasp, "Who knew?" as they enjoy the full tour of the History Center inside and on the back deck. We haven't been able to accommodate those folks forever. Number two, another dream for the future. An impromptu, small gathering of relations enjoys an afternoon of sharing and hugging in July, and then makes arrangements with the curator to come back at Thanksgiving vacation and do it again. Number three, somebody named Jody drives all the way from Arizona to spend August at the Cape, during which time she uses the celebration room to honor Uncle Wing's World War II service. Number four, a past president of WFA and 3 generations of her family proudly gather round her great-great-grandparents' portrait that hangs as a touching memorial to the pioneering spirit. So, number 5, Bernie Sanders grudgingly accepts our invitation to learn about the Socialist Labor Party's first candidate for president, and tears up upon seeing Simon Wing's handwritten speeches, eyeglasses, and desk. Number 6, the New England Historical Photographic Association books a bus for an April weekend of tintypes and cameras at the Wing Historical Center And this is actually already in the works. Number 7, wing member Annie drops by with her 3- and 6-year-olds to see the model of the last wooden whaling ship and to pick up a couple of Charles Morgan flags for Caped Crusader games at home. Number 8, a budding young musician clomps out heart and soul on the Wing and Son mail order concert grand. Number 9, a University of Massachusetts science student tends the History Center 3 days a week all summer, acts as a docent, and puts a youthful spin on some very old family stories. Number 10, 12-year-olds in a photo club from Boston find out a lot of cool stuff during a series of classes led by their own teacher here. And my last point is, you bring your kids here. Bring your neighbor's kids. Find a lonely soul. Bring them here. And be proud to supply them with a lunchbox of knowledge and love, cloaked in an honorable mission and a place in the future. Now add your dreams here. These sheets will be inside the house. Please, tell us what you'd like to do here. Thank you.
Marvelous, marvelous. We are fulfilling our dream in a cart before the horse sort of operation, because we didn't raise the money and then build the place. We bought the place, and now we're trying to raise the money. So to speak to our future needs, Jim Grisella.
Our future needs are money. Short. By the way, Randy, when you were standing here, I was envisioning you as Harry Truman on a whistle. Seriously, for a couple of things, we are videoing live on Facebook as we speak, so you can go back on your Facebooks, and we're
Share. At the Wing Family Meeting Place.
Wing
Facebook.
Family Meeting Place, and
All the photos and video will be there.
okay, the photos and video will be there. Okay, we were doing the plank thing, as people have mentioned. If you don't own a plank at the present time, please consider one. We would think that it was a novel way of raising some money. And we're working on another donation campaign for an archaeological dig. And third item, the constant contact has been very good in source of raising money, and I'm hoping that you are enjoying receiving word from us. It's a lot of fun writing that stuff. And we're going to be doing another capital campaign, and we'll be getting out more information to you on that. And there'll be an envelope in the next hour for collections. And the last thing I have, my daughter Victoria and my wife Victoria is a market manager for United Way of New Bedford, and so they have all these toys, and we're doing the live video. Inside there's a running slideshow of all the pictures that you were taking last night. Hopefully we got everybody covered. Now, there were copies of those pictures inside, and they're available free of charge. However, if you would like this wonderful frame, slip your picture into, it'll be $3. And I promise I won't ask you for any more money this weekend.
Thank you, thank you. Everybody's been brief, so now the pressure's on the old minister to wrap this up. That's a challenge. Being an old minister, I thought a dedication should have a word of scripture with it, and I've chosen a passage many of you will know, from the book of Ecclesiasticus. That's in the Apocrypha, not if you're a rigid Protestant, you don't know this book at all. I'm a semi-rigid Protestant. This is chapter 44, and it is very patriarchal.
It's okay.
I've not
Expand your mind.
exactly. Let us now sing the praises of famous men, our ancestors in their generation. The Lord apportioned to them great glory, his majesty from the beginning. And then the passage talks about all the great things that great people have done. But then, of others there is no memory. They have perished as though they had never existed. They have become as though they had never been born, they and their children after them. But these also were godly, whose righteous deeds, but there were also those whose righteous deeds have not been forgotten. Their inheritance will remain with their children. Their descendants stand by the covenants. Their offspring will continue forever, and their glory will never be blotted out. For their bodies are buried in peace, but their name lives on generation after generation. The assembly declares their wisdom, and the congregation proclaims their praise. My point in reading this is that I think this institution, this museum, history center, will be most successful when it not only celebrates great wings, people who made great accomplishments. Simon would be one. I'm not sure his political career was a great accomplishment, but his photographic career was.
Right.
And really, really significant. And we will celebrate many great wings, but I hope at the same time we will remember those who've been forgotten. The lives of ordinary wings, both throughout the centuries and in today's world, as we have a celebration room for our little accomplishment. You don't have to run for president to be recognized at the Memorial Center, the Memorial History Center. Wing Memorial History Center. I'm trying to remember how to say that, so I get it right. It's not the hall. It's not the annex. It's the Wing Memorial History Center. I would like to close with a prayer of dedication, and being an old fussy pastor, you're about to eat, so I'm going to bless your food too.
Thank you.
And you will find it in this direction. Don't all stampede at once, because this is a small center, and there's nowhere near enough room for you to sit there. So good luck. It's not going to rain. I can guarantee you that. Anybody that's lived on a coast knows that it's just fooling with us right now. We're fine that way, but it might be a little wet. Somebody has to make a sacrifice. Would you join with me in a word of prayer, please? Oh, holy God, we thank you for all who have contributed towards making this vision of a memorial hall a reality in the Wing Memorial History Center. For persons who have given generously, who have given enormously of their time and talent and effort, we appreciate all that they have done and thank you for their gifts and their hard work. We ask your blessing upon what comes next, on all the ways in which we seek both to share the Wing story with the world and simply to fellowship together as cousins. Bless the efforts of all who work here, who do simple tasks, who put on important programs, who make this a living reality. And be with each and all of us as Wings gather this day, as we break bread together, as we celebrate what we have accomplished, and as we dedicate ourselves to the future of this family and this place. We seek these blessings in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.